just going to say hi to everybody online and thank you for your patience while I just get set. So yeah, it's like things got all techie with online sign-in and
how long you been back in the U.S.?
like a week or so. Yeah, not long. I got back. Okay. Yeah, I got back. I don't even know. Today's October, right? So I got back the very last week of September. Yes. Good morning.
Jane,
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, there's no words to
Oh,
tell.
good morning. I love your lipstick.
Thank you.
And I just had to let it go, because I couldn't get you. And I didn't know how to do all that stuff. And they just asked
Hi,
God to
Giovanni.
protect you and love you.
Oh, thank you for that. Y'all. We got sound bowls. This is so good.
We had a woman, recovery Dharma, had bowls. She had
Yes.
bowls, and she was doing that for about 3 minutes.
Do you know her name?
No, she was new to the group, but she had those crystals. It wasn't copper. Or
Oh, they were the
whatever.
crystals?
They were like, well, they might have been crystal, but they were white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's she look like?
Very skinny with a lot of tattoos.
Oh, I don't know her.
I mean,
Maybe I
like
do
your
know her. I don't know.
tattoos, But they were just
They weren't like
flowers.
yours. They were others. They were different. Oh, it's so good to see you. It's so good to see everybody. Y'all, you know when you get so happy that you start to get teary-eyed? It's happening to me in this exact right now, and I love it so much that this is how happy I am right now. Oh, I love it. Look, it's happening.
I'm happy too, Jane. I'm so happy.
Look, it's doing it. Oh, God, I love this.
Happy tears.
I love happy tears, y'all. I love happy tears so much.
Are
God.
you really okay about being back in the United States of
No,
America?
no, but I'm happy to be in this exact here right now.
Right.
That's what I'm happy about. If this right here, right now, were in another location, I might be happier. If it weren't in the United States. And I love the United States in so many ways, and there's so much about it that I don't necessarily love.
So you were in Costa Rica.
I was. Oh, if we can make sure our phones are on silent, that would help me out tremendously.
And you were out in the bush the whole time, right?
I was, yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, I was in the jungle most of the whole entire
How was
time. It was amazing. It was transformative. It was completely life altering. It was humbling. It was exciting. It was restful, and it was chaotic.
Absolutely.
It was life.
Right.
What
was the chaotic part?
Life.
There.
The nature, yeah.
Right.
The nature there is so big. Like everywhere you go, there's nature. And I'm talking like snakes or big frogs, big toucans, rivers, waterfalls, things that you look at and you're like, this would either be really fun to play with or it could kill me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like literally, it was like that. It was like everything had this possibility of it could kill me.
Did you have a guide?
Me, I was just living there. Yeah.
On your own the whole time. Where is this at?
Yeah, in Costa Rica.
In a tent?
No, I stayed in. So the first 2 weeks I was there, I was really deep in the jungle and I held a retreat. And then after that, I went to the playa, the beach, and I was there for about a month. And I was staying in like an apartment kind of thing there. And then I went into the mountains in the jungle, and I had a little cabina, a little house that was right on the river that I would get in unless it was too high because it would wash me downriver and kill me.
Oh, wow.
But it was so cool. It was so cool.
Adventurous, it sounds.
It was so adventurous. Yes, it was.
Did it modify your body, mind, spirit?
Yes. It completely aligned them in a way that I had never experienced. Yeah. I didn't realize, and it's the topic that I kind of want to share today. Like, I didn't realize how stressed I was living my normal life, because I used to be super duper stressed, and then it's like as I get healthier and I recover from my unhealthy decisions in my life, the stress kept decreasing, and I was like, whoa, I feel good, and then it was like once I removed myself from my life, what came up was that I got really stressed because I didn't have anything to stress about.
Right.
Like, it freaked
That
me
makes
out.
sense.
Yeah, like I was seriously like, I need to do something. I'm supposed to do something. Like, if I don't do something, then I'm worthless and I'm useless and nobody will love me and everybody's going to reject me because I'm not doing anything. And what do I need? I need to do. And so the need to do when I didn't have anything to do was stressing me out.
I can understand that. I would be scared. Like, I have nothing to do. Why am I here?
Yeah. Yeah. And that was what I needed. I needed to be in that space. Like, I needed to be in the space of like, you can't do anything. You have nothing to do but live your life. And it was very impactful for me.
Was that true the entire time? You were able to keep your mind clean and clear?
I mean, I definitely had some hard times, but like I stayed healthy.
Uh-huh.
I didn't do anything. I didn't like fall off any wagons,
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So that was good.
Did you have people around you during the day? Sometimes.
Yeah,
Did you get a boyfriend?
Just that one night. Just kidding.
Oh no, she's not. That's not.
That was funny.
I did
That was
think about
funny.
it. I was hoping
So-
you'd meet a man.
I mean, I met a lot of men, met a lot of women,
Huh?
but nothing like,
Nothing.
no winky faces, but
Did you farts for your food?
no. And I say no because I had an opportunity to when I was in the jungle for the first couple weeks,
Right.
but some things were happening with my health that wasn't allowing me to do a lot of stuff.
Right.
And then at the end, I could have foraged, but I walked down the street to the farmer's market instead.
Oh, we gotta do this the easy
That's
way.
what I did.
Yeah.
I was like, and which was really cool because I got to meet so many of the farmers.
Right.
And it's not like, they may have like really big farms, but it could literally be me just having an abundance and I bring it to share. Because like, y'all, the last house I stayed at, I walked outside and there was an orange tree, a starfruit tree, a mandarin tree, a grapefruit tree, and lime trees.
Wow.
So and they were just, I just go out.
There they were.
There's there.
Wow.
And that was like that, like everywhere. You would
Did you
walk
take
around.
and eat all that stuff?
Yes. You bet I did. Heck yeah.
And it tastes different than what it tastes like in here.
It tastes so real.
Uh-huh.
You said
So
they had
real.
fig trees out there?
No
too?
fig.
figs?
I did not see any fig trees. But I didn't see any fig trees. I didn't see anybody eating figs. But it could just not be the season. I don't know. Because it's their
Probably.
rainy season right now.
Yeah.
Can we ask about money?
Yeah.
What did you
What do you mean?
do?
Like, what did I do for money?
Yeah, when you had to go to the garden, did you spend money? I mean, to the food market.
Yeah,
You had money.
I did. So before I left, I had a fundraiser, and everything there is way cheaper.
Uh-huh.
Like the house that I rented for the month was $600, and that was everything. That was the house, the utilities, the water, internet,
Wow.
everything.
It's like
So
half
you
of
were
my
pretty
rent.
happy there.
Yeah,
You were happy there.
yeah, because that was why I wasn't
House.
stressing out, because I was like, I can afford to eat.
Right.
You know,
Man.
I could. You can't here. I have a hard time here. Like I would go to the market, y'all, and I would get pineapple, like a few papaya. Good morning. I would get a few papayas. I would get mangoes, avocados, huevos. I would get onions, carrots, potatoes, kale. Like I would have like
You're making me
all the
so
stuff,
hungry
right?
from
All
good
the
stuff.
good stuff.
guess how much I would pay?
$5.
$10 for all that. Like total.
How much
Wow.
of all that is? I mean, in pounds?
Like how do they price it?
Or
I mean, I would just like take my bags and just fill them up and
$10.
$10
Okay.
because everything grows so abundantly there.
Okay.
And that's what I really noticed is that you're so connected to the land because it's everywhere. If that makes, I mean, land is everywhere, but like here we have a lot of concrete on the land.
Right,
So we're not as connected to it.
right.
And because everyone is so connected to the land, there's just an abundance. And so if it grows there, they don't need to charge $10 for a papaya or $5 for an avocado.
Do they use the US dollar or?
They can, but I use the currency of their
Which is,
colones.
So you on vacation?
I was on a sabbatical, actually. I was doing a lot of like deep inner work, getting real with myself and doing some deep healing that I've been neglecting, that I needed to just kind of be with myself for.
Did you do yoga while you were there? When you were on the beach? Ooh, that sounds wonderful. Did you do a lot of things on the beach, exercise-wise and meditation-wise and all that?
I did a lot of meditation. I did a lot of playing in the ocean, praying in the ocean, praying to the ocean, and a lot of walking. That's what I did. Because what I really felt when I was at the ocean was, that's where all life begins.
Mhm.
Like the ocean will birth new life. We see that as soon as the salt changes, new life forms. So when it becomes super salty, there's a certain life that can live in the ocean. If the water becomes more fresh water, the salt creatures need to change and they adapt, and new life will emerge. And so I was sitting with that at the ocean, and I was like, wow, this is where all life begins. And she's so beautiful and so ferocious.
so
You know,
that
like-
rivers going into the ocean, and that's what you're talking about, the mixing,
Just in general, like if
backwater, whatever.
like if water is salty, you're going to have certain fish and you have freshwater fish. But if I start to take the salt out of the water slowly over time, life will adapt itself. And she's so
What's that jar?
water.
I know, but does that come from there or?
No, it's from here. I add Celtic sea salt to my water for minerals.
You did what?
I add Celtic sea salt to it for minerals and electrolytes, so it's more hydrating. And then see what I do to it. Y'all are probably gonna laugh, but I'm okay with that. So water. So speaking of water, right? I was at the ocean, and there's so much life, and the salt water. It made me remember, like, we are salt water beings. We are light and sound and water in form, and whatever I drink, whatever I eat, like it's adding to the water that I am or taking away from the water that I am. And what I noticed there was that the water is very living, meaning you drink it and it's pretty much straight from the ground. It goes where I was, it went through the municipal water system, which is just kind of like a big filtration kind of a thing. So it's not like what we have here,
Right.
And
Did the water give you energy because it was from the ground?
yeah,
Did you feel some energy
I
coming out of
did.
the water?
yeah, it just felt like living water. And if you've ever been to like the mountains and you drink that water, there's just something to it.
Different.
It's like, it's called the living waters because it's got so much movement from under the earth. But here it changes because it goes through the filtration system here, the water treatment center, and then it goes through these pipes. So imagine if the water normally would be spinning like this. Well, then it takes that spin out here and it makes it more like a line.
Mhm.
And so they have water restructuring devices that you can buy here in the States. And y'all, they're like hundreds of dollars. Okay. And what they do is they spin the water around and it restructures the water. When the water is structured in the H2O way, the natural way that water would be set, our body takes it in easier and our body uses it more and it gives us more life. So I was sitting with that and I was like, I don't want to spend $300 because one, I'd rather eat on something to restructure the water. And I was like, well, so I do this every time, y'all. I put my salt in it, and I go like this. And then I watch it spin like that.
Oh yeah.
And then I get happy. And then then I'm blessing it with this energy of joy. And then it's restructured and blessed water. So you can
not necessarily do that
I-
in your water
uh-huh.
and restructure the water that you drink.
I do this every time. So I fill it up, add salt, I do the spin, I get happy, I bless it, I thank it. Yeah, easy peasy. Or I could spend $300 on a machine that'll do that for me. Or I could do that. and people saw me doing this down there and they were like, I spent $300 on a machine that does that.
Don't people talk into their water?
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
talk to it.
Yeah. Like, thank you. I love you. Oh my God. Thank you for nourishing me.
How do the animals make you feel? Especially the ones that could be scary.
Depends on what they were. Depends on which ones they were. Y'all, there was one day, so I had like a little dining table, which was like such a treat. So I had this dining table and I'm sitting there in the morning usually doing whatever. And this one morning I sat down and then I got up for something and I will notice anything that's like different.
Right.
And I was like, what's on the floor? And I looked over and I was like, that's big. Oh, that's a big spider. That's a big spider. And I'll be with spiders. Like I don't like them, but they're not my favorite for sure.
No.
And I was like, wow, that's big.
Yeah.
And so I go out to get the broom because I don't have any other way.
Mhm.
And I started to like sweat and like my breathing got really shallow.
Scary.
Right. And so I'm noticing my body and it felt like my insides were vibrating, and like my palms started to get really sweaty. And I was like, wow, I'm not really breathing big and full. And so I moved the table and everything out of the way. And I'm like, I can do it. I can do it. And I'm pepping myself up and I would go and the spider would look at me and like give me middle fingers. And I'd be like, oh God. So I yelled out to my neighbor that lived down the way. I'm like, Marcus. And he looks up and he's like, he's from somewhere that has an accent. He's like, yeah, mate. And I said, would you be willing to help? I have a thing. And he was like, what is it? And I was like, it's a spider. He's like, no, you're on your own. And I was like, because he's lived in Costa Rica for like 2 years. He knows when somebody says spider, if you need help, nobody really wants to mess with that. And I was like, damn it. Like, okay, I can do this, right? And so I kept having to I kept going for it and then I would freak out and I would go for it and freak out.
What were you going to do? Sweep it out of there?
Yes.
Yes, okay. That's the goal.
And so eventually I was able to, I can do it. And I got it out and I swept it out and it went flying in the air. And
It
was
was
gone.
flying. It was a flying spider.
No, I just swept it that hard. And
Make sure it got forward.
I did. And then later on that day, so I look it up. And because I did a certification training thing for a couple weeks while I was down there. That's another story. But one of the women that was there said, yo, I found this really big spider in my bed today. And I was like, oh, that's freaky. And she tells me what kind it was. I look it up and it was the same one that was in my house. So I look it up. It's a Brazilian wandering spider. Yeah. And it's like venomous.
How big?
I mean, it wasn't like that, but it had, you could see its markings.
And it's venomous. I hate spiders so much. I would not go to Costa Rica just because of that.
I mean, the animals there, that they were big. They were big.
Did you see monkeys?
I didn't see any monkeys this time. I heard them, but I didn't see any this time. I saw a lot of macaws. And so they look like big parrots.
Uh-huh.
And so I saw a tree full of them one day and they were all just like hanging out. And apparently it's very rare to see that many all at once together like that. It was one of those good days. You know those good
Did you
days?
take a picture?
You bet I did.
Uh-huh.
And in the photos, it's like a halo of light is around it, and it's just like this super divine image. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. But
I'm so glad you're
it was so
back.
good.
Oh, what a great adventure.
It really
Did
was.
you see any mantises? The big ones?
I
Yeah, they
did.
get really big.
Yeah, not like those.
Well,
I
big.
did see a lot of, so they have these butterflies called morpho butterflies that are the color of Elijah's sunglasses. And they're like this big. And they're just massive. They're just everywhere, you know. But it was interesting what I noticed. So I wanted to talk today about stress because I didn't realize how much, like I said, I didn't realize how much stress I was experiencing before I left because I've done so much work. Y'all have done a lot of work, right? Like you've done a lot of work. You've done a lot of work on yourself, on your path, in your healing journey, blah, 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 blah. And we're so much like better off than we have been in many ways,
Yes.
you know? And what I realized was that there was this underlying current of stress that I was still allowing myself to feel. And that was the difference because I realized that whenever I feel stress, it's because I'm allowing it. And that was a big shift for my mind to move. Because I thought that I'm stressed. Well, because I'm stressed because I don't have this and I need that and I want this and blah. Like I had reasons to be stressed. We all have reasons to be stressed, right? And why do we allow ourselves to stress about it? Because the things are going to be the things, regardless of anything.
We haven't been raised or to stay in the moment, and that's one of the ways to get out of stress is staying in the day in the moment. But we've been raised that stress is all over us, and everybody acts like a maniac.
Have you noticed that? I'm so glad you mentioned that. Have you noticed that like for me, I could be feeling pretty good. And like I go somewhere and like everybody's freaking out about something
Yeah,
and they're all talking about it and you can feel their energy and they're talking like this and they're a little bit spazzy and and next thing you know, like I'm like I'm like glitching out myself and I'm like, I feel the stress.
Can't take it.
Right?
Yeah.
right.
So we will feed, like stress is one of these, it's like a parasite. Okay, so parasites find a host and then it takes their energy, it takes their nutrients or whatever that is, right? So imagine if stress itself is a parasite. And if I have the parasite of stress and I'm carrying it around, right? And it's this underlying thing, you're going to feel it. And you might leave my presence and feel stressed out. And then it spreads. When we talk about the things, and not to say we can't talk about the things that are stressing us out, but it's different when we're talking about something that's stressing us out and focusing on like, well, how do I get through it? What's on the other side of this? What kind of miracles and blessings can I receive to get through this stress? That feels totally different than saying like, there's nothing that's going to help me out. I'm stuck. I'm screwed. And I'm life is awful. Like they just feel so very different. Right? Yeah.
Well, I think.
Hang on just 1 second. Yeah.
We're living in a stressful time. And that's why we grab this. Like most of us grew up with television. And watching television, I know for myself, after I get through watching TV, the news is exactly one of the most stressful things to do for myself. And once that TV go off, I'm stressed out, just really out the mind. Because we live in a stressful time.
Yeah.
But we don't know how to digest stress.
Yes.
To get rid of the stress. That's the key. I see.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. I want to get back to that. What were you going to say?
The kids are patient. Stress, patient and faith. If you don't get enough patience and faith, you're going to always be stressed out. This right here, too, shall pass. You got to learn that. come out. What the situation is, that's what you'll get past. You didn't come this far for to leave it, for you to leave it. You can't this far for to go further. You gotta remember that. And that's why a lot of folks jump that life and don't never reach that goal. Because they give up.
Yeah.
You can't give up. You gotta keep fighting.
Yes.
What that said? Don't come in to play. Come in to win. Ain't that right, young bud?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm gonna tie that. Thank you for sharing that. Yes.
I think sometimes we fear being happy because we've been so much into the stress that we fear being happy because we think that the happiness is going to go away or that moment is like the other shoe gonna fall off, or that's how I feel sometimes. But like like she said, being in the moment, we're not raised to like think that way,
Mm-hmm.
everything's just fast and stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you for sharing that. I'm gonna tie that in. Yes.
I have a lot of stress in my life. It's going to come. It's natural. I do things like I don't watch the news at all because I know it's going to add to my stress. If I know it's going to add to it, I just don't bother. I leave it alone. I stay out of politics. I do things. I go to the gym. I come here. You do things you know it's going to help you. If you sit home and think about things, never think things, it's going to get bad.
Yeah.
But you have to do natural things too. That's what I have to do. And I still have it, but it helps.
Nice. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that.
Mhm.
So I just want to reflect a little common thread that was just kind of woven into this space was around the mind. The mind is the only thing that will keep us in stress. It literally is only the mind. When I watch the news, you said the mind, and then you're done and you're like, I don't know how to process any of that. Like half of it was traumatizing. Half of it told me that I'm never going to have enough or be enough. And the other part told me that I can't do enough to help anybody out. Oh God. Right. And then if we get stuck in the thoughts about the things that stress us out, if we just keep focusing on the things that stress us out, and these things that stress us out are the things, the real human stuff, right? Food, money, shelter, stuff like that. Okay, those are some basic needs. I understand why we would experience stress around not having enough of those things, for sure. And when we have these underlying stressors that are really has deeper roots, and it's the stress around like, okay, so if I don't have enough money for shelter right now, okay, yeah, that's stress. But then there's this underlying part that's like, I don't have the support. And that hits, doesn't it? That hits here. The feeling of I don't have enough support. My mind doesn't have anything to do with that. My mind will recognize it, but it hits in the heart, right?
Yeah.
To feel like I don't have enough support,
Right.
or the feeling of like I see friends that don't have enough support and I can't support them. That's a different type of a stress, So we have this mental stress of like the superficial things that are very real. I need to eat today. I would like shelter, right? I would like some water. Basic, definitely mental. And then there's that like, why won't anyone help me? What's wrong with me? Why can't I help myself? Why can't I be enough? I see people driving their 5th car, buying their 5th house, having these luxurious, they're just these lifestyles, and I celebrate that for them. And it's like there's so much imbalance, and that weighs heavy on my heart. And so when we allow ourselves to really sit in stress, if I'm feeling it in the heart, then I'm not going to feel joy, right? Because it's heavy and my mind can't figure it out. And so then I'm stuck in this little like pool of stress. And then what that does is it hurts my body, because our bodies are not made to hold long time stress. Our bodies are made to experience stress for sure, but we're not made to hold it. And we can see that in our physical bodies.
Yeah.
We can see where we have excess tissue that's been protecting us, our muscles that might be like super tight because they're afraid to let go and relax and feel good. You know, we might have tension in our shoulders, we might have heart problems, lung problems, any problems because our bodies are not made to store it. And we're not taught how to process it or to live in a different space other than stress.
Right.
You know, so we see how it's this big system of let's keep humans stressed.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just the system. The system is designed to not only separate us, right, but it's to keep us stressed out.
The only stress I have is
That's
money.
right.
And it's a perpetual stress since I retired. And so it sits in my heart. Just what everything you said is true. But every month I'm like, am I going to be able, I always make my rent because they pull it out. Am I going to be able to pay my electric bill? Am I going to be able to pay my phone bill?
Mhm.
And am I going to have to get rid of TV this month? And it's every single month. And like you said at the beginning, it's not out there.
Mhm.
It's because it's a waste of time. It's the same thing every month. right?
Totally. Exactly.
And so and I agree with you completely in that why do they have that and I have to struggle every month with this. Why I don't want their things.
Right.
That's the thing. I don't want their shit and their cars and their diamonds and all that stuff. I'd be just happy if they gave me $500 extra a month.
Right.
You know,
Uh-huh.
I'd be good with that.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
For me, when I start thinking about stress was something that I've been looking deeper into and trying to utilize and remember. I look at it like the difference between absorbing and retaining. Because when I think about a car, if I think about socks, I think about absorbing something. I think more about reflecting and repelling it. And then when I think about retaining, I'm thinking about just stuffing as much as I can get in there and trying to keep it all in. So if I remind myself that I'm meant to absorb stress instead of retaining, it helps.
Hmm. Thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I want to share some things like that we can do to mitigate stress for the body, the mind, the spirit. Because it's like, okay, so I know that if I watch the news, I get stressed.
Mhm.
So I can turn it off.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. That's an easy one.
Yeah.
Like that really is probably one of the easiest ones that we can do. We just get to go through the addiction of it and the discomfort of not doing it. It's like if I tell myself I'm not going to get on my phone all day, I actually have to feel the discomfort of not checking my phone. Because I've realized that I have an addictive pattern to where I check it. If my hands are empty, as soon as I'm done doing something, I'm like, let me check my phone. That's an addiction. Like, let me call that out.
It is.
Like, let me just call that out. I'm not going to judge it, but like, okay, yeah, I'm addicted to a screen. I have an addiction to screens in some way because if I don't get on it in a certain time, then I feel a nervous system dysregulation. Okay, well, that's some self-awareness right there. So that's what we start to do with stress is we start to identify what stresses us out, what activates our nervous system and puts us in deregulation, what creates heaviness in my heart, what makes me feel like I'm not enough, I don't have enough, and I can't be enough. You know, what is pulling that energy down? And then I start to just step away from it. You know, and it's always about a relationship, right? It's a relationship with what I'm drinking, what I'm eating, a screen, a relationship with a person. Has anybody ever been in a relationship with a person that when you leave them, you feel like your energy is sucked and you're more stressed out? Yeah, probably not the best friend choice. And it's okay to say, no, I don't want to hang out. I don't want to talk. I love you so much. And I love me too. Right?
What if it's your wife?
The same.
Mm-hmm.
Same. Then you spend more time away from that person until your own nervous system can be regulated. so that you can hold your energy and not retain any of whatever it is that's stressing you out that they're being. You know, like I found that there was a person in my life that I would experience stress when I was with them. And I'm like, oh, it's because I can't control them.
Mhm.
Okay, well, I don't want to control them. And yet that's what was stressing me out.
Mhm.
I didn't like how they spoke to me and what they said. It's not up to me to change them.
Right.
Why would I stress about what they're doing? They treat me however they want. But here's the thing, if I'm not around them, then it doesn't matter. You know, or if they treat me a certain way, oh, I don't like what they're doing, can I still love them unconditionally
Yes.
and not stress out about it? Because here's the thing, we are only here for a certain amount of time. And I have learned that the one thing that I'm not put on earth to do is to just be stressed out.
Right.
None of us were born to be stressed. Nobody put us here on this earth to say, okay, I need you to be in this body and I need you to feel so much stress that you just feel like you're going to break every day. Okay. There's no good God everywhere, anywhere, in any timeline that would have ever done that. So then why would we do that to ourselves? Then we become the parasitic energy. We're just eating ourselves alive. So the first thing for the mind is to recognize, when am I feeling stress, right? Okay. Screens for me. Look, just name out. What are some of the things? We got a wife. We got my screens. What else stresses you out?
Money.
Money, apartment, huh?
Lack of money,
Yeah, money,
food,
food,
people,
Does traffic stress anyone out?
jobs,
Yeah.
traffic.
Work,
That's
traffic,
probably the biggest stress for me is money.
money,
That's probably my biggest stressor.
right?
I have enough, yeah.
Yeah, same Z's. You know, I've realized, coming back to the United States that, and I knew this before, but I needed to get away from it to see it from this like outside perspective to come in that like, and we know that the rich and the poor
Mhm.
are separating, and the middle class is like, I'm dying. They're either getting really rich or really not. So there's starting to become this really big polarity. And for me, I've hovered in the middle, and it's been a lot of work for me to hover in that middle. And it's like, oh look, I'm not in. Oh, I'm officially not in the middle anymore. Okay. It's official. And so every day, so we got the mind, right? Because here's the thing, I'm stressing about money, but I don't have money. So I'm literally stressing about something that's not even there. I'm stressing because something isn't there. Well, nobody's stressing out that there's not a turkey on the table right now. Nobody's stressing out because there aren't donuts on the table right now. But yet we stress about something that's not there. We stress about money that's not here.
So that means we have a control issue?
It just means that, in a way, because we are trying to control what I have to feel good.
Right.
When
Control issue.
when to me the work is to feel good regardless of what I have or don't have. That's the work.
Mhm.
Because here's the thing, whether I have money or not, it's up to me on if I'm going to be stressed. And so the mind got that. The body, let me go into that and then I'll go into the spirit. The body, mention how the body holds stress, right? Well, it's like, well, I don't have money, so I can't just take a vacation, Like, I get it. And it's like, well, then what can I do? Well, I can go for a walk around my block. That's what I can do. I can pretend that I'm in a new town and I can go to the grocery store and walk up and down the aisles like I've never seen this stuff before. It's literally just me playing a whole head game with myself, but it's me taking my body into places that feels good. So that means I might go to karaoke one night. That might stress me out to sing, but I might have fun while I'm there. You know what I mean? So it's like, going for a walk, sweating, doing breath work, meditating, like letting our physical bodies do things, getting in pools of water, putting our body in stressful situations that we are choosing. For example, So this one time when I was in Costa Rica, I would get in the river. The river, first of all, was so stupid cold because I was at a really high elevation. I was at the base of the tallest mountain in the country. And it was so beautiful. And the water, the river that I was on, I don't remember the name of it in this right now. I think it was like the River Choripo, but it translates to the eternal waters.
Wow.
Right? So yeah, of course, Jane's at the eternal waters. That makes sense. And anyway, so like we would get in the river and we would go hiking and find offshoots of the river. And we were always trying to do that like at least once a day. And you would go down there and it would be like almost like a baptism, a purification. You give the water what you don't need and she would take it to the ocean.
Who was we? We.
Just friends that I ended up making.
Right, okay.
And, you know, there were many times where I'd start to get in the water and I'd be like, it's really cold. Like, you know, and that was me choosing that stress. So then I was able to have a nervous system activation, and then I was calming it down through breathing and letting my body acclimate. And then I'd get my shoulders deep and I'd be like, okay. And then I'd let my body relax until everything was regulated.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. You know, so nervous system stress, physical support for the body in intentional, stressful situations helps the body regulate stress in a daily way. Does that make sense? So if you're like, we don't have a cold river, because we don't, what do? You know what works for me? It's not fun. You put your shower on cold and you get in that and you breathe. And it sucks. And you'll notice your body responding, but you'll notice if you get angry, you'll notice if you get like freaked out, but you'll notice your breathing. You might, you know, but can you allow everything to relax while you're in that cold water or a cold bath at home?
You know what stressful
Do what?
you know what really stressful in life?
What?
You don't be dealing with patience and faith.
Mm-hmm.
If you learn to deal with patience and faith, you can overcome stress anytime you want to.
Totally.
That's being real.
It is. And I'm getting to that in just a minute. Because that's to me is the spirit part,
Yep.
you know. So we can do physical things that help our body, you know, get away from the things that stress us out.
I'm gonna try the cold shower.
Yeah.
Jane,
Even a cold splash on the face first thing in the morning.
I'm gonna ask the neurologist about this, but I'm just gonna mention it. If I get in the shower and this just has started happening in the past 5 or 6 years. When I get in the shower, if it's too warm or I'm washing my hair and it's too warm on my head, I can put myself into a panic attack. And then if I cool it down, I have to step out of the shower, but I cool it down, I can control that panic attack.
Yeah,
Nervous system.
for sure. Yeah, because you know when we get too hot,
Yes.
everything increases.
That's right. I hate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need to get by yourself and talk to yourself and think to yourself for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't appreciate the things that you already do have and you get things that you don't have.
Yeah.
We worry about more of the things we don't have than the things we do have.
Totally.
Have some gratitude to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Gratitude, that will get you through anything you want to.
Yeah.
That's
And
being real.
it definitely.
You look at yourself and say, you know what? Stop being jealous of the person that got this over here. Be grateful for the thing that you have over here.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate yourself. And then you look inside yourself, be grateful for yourself. Or somebody here today didn't wake up this morning.
Exactly. And that's kind of what I want to talk about.
Stuff like that sometimes.
Exactly. And thank you for mentioning that because that's what I wanted to share about. So, you know, when we look at the spirit aspect of stress, well, then, because to me, that's if my spirit is good, not bad, but like if it's like, if I'm connected to spirit,
Right.
my higher self, to love, whatever you want to call it, then things don't stress me out as much. I have more peace in my heart.
Yeah.
So my mind may be very aware, like, I don't have money for food on this day. I'm very aware of that.
Mhm.
Now, can I still feel peace?
Yes.
Right. And so my practice that I've really started, because so I'll share this now and then I'll get into it more next time I'm here, because I think it's a really valuable topic. But so I've mentioned this before I left. I've mentioned this before a few times, that I've had suicidal ideologies growing up, and it's been something that's come into my life. And there was a part of my time down there that I was in really deep contemplation, and I was really sitting with it. And yeah, I was really contemplating it. And so something came through, and it's like, nope, you're going to be here. You're going to continue to live and until you're not. And I was like, so I can't expedite that. And it was like, no, you're not expediting it. Trust, you'll peace out when it's time. And I was like, okay. And so now the way I have handled the stress of being in an environment that doesn't support non-stress, I get up and I go to my altar first thing before my phone, and I thank Great Spirit, the elements. I thank creativity, the God, the goddess. I thank life for allowing me another day. And I'm like, well, I guess that there's a reason, because I woke up. And sometimes I'm like, damn it, I woke up. Well, I guess there's a reason, right? And so then I just expect miracles and blessings. So then I start my day off that way. Like, well, I guess there's some miracles and blessings for me today. Okay, I'm open to receive. Okay, so this is starting my day off. There's no stress in any of this. I'm just opening up to receive miracles and blessings. Okay, cool. And then I go to the mirror and I say, good morning, because I'm not in partnership, but I've realized that when I am in partnership, I want them to say good morning to me before the phone.
This is every day?
Mm-hmm. So I've started this really,
That's the day
this practice. Yeah. And so I say hi to me first in reflection, because if I'm telling the universe that the phone is more important than me, well, what am I saying? So I go to the mirror and I'm like, good morning, Jane. Happy to see you. Like, I give myself a conversation that feels good. And then I say, all right, what if today is this last day? What if this is my last day on earth? What if it is? Then everything I want to do, I want it to be a choice. I want it to feel good in my heart. And I want to live it to the fullest. Just what if? And so what I noticed with this pattern, this new pattern and new practice, is that I don't hang out with the people that piss me off. I'm not on my phone as much, because what if today is the last day? Then I don't want 5 hours to be scrolling through Facebook. I wanted to be sitting in my backyard just looking at the clouds for all I care, And it's interesting too, because then I'm not as hungry. So I'm not like just eating all this stuff, but I'm noticing that what I do eat, it's something that I really want to eat. And for me, it's not like it's a fancy dinner at a restaurant. It's not. It's usually like, I want blueberries. Like, I want to taste the sweetness of life. I'm going to put honey in my tea. And I'm going to enjoy my body feeling good on this last day. I want to eat the pizza. I do want to eat the pizza, but I'm not going to eat the pizza because the pizza hurts my body. Right. And I don't want my last day to be a choice of feeling bad when I could feel good. Right. And so then my heart stays lifted. So now I'm not feeling any stress today. My money hasn't changed. But I did tell Source that I'm open to miracles and blessings. So that means that the likelihood of me actually receiving is greater than if I were stressed out and resisting it. Just using the laws of like attraction and stuff.
So now, can you say that again? How you get to that point where you open to receive blessings?
I state it first thing in the morning and before I go to bed.
You say these things?
I do, out loud too. I talk to the universe that has no name, and I say, hey, I am here for a reason and a purpose, and every day I'm going to be open to figuring that out and expressing that in deeper levels.
Mhm.
And because I do need and deserve support, I'm asking for miracles and blessings.
Mm, okay.
And then I let it go. I'm not like searching miracles, blessings. Are you in here? Even though this was such a miracle and a blessing, y'all. Yo, I got samples in here. I'm so excited. Go. Hang on one second. Yeah.
Now, I've never been selfish. I guess it's okay. I mean, sometimes you have to be just a little selfish.
What is selfish?
Just caring about yourself and not think about putting yourself first.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and
I
yeah,
think sometimes you have to. I've never done that, and that's why I had to start going.
yes. Because and they say that on the airplane. Y'all, this was funny. I'll share this.
Yeah.
So I started writing. I've always written, but I really started writing a lot as soon as I got on the plane. And that was my commitment, was to start writing this book of some sort. And I just started reading it back. I hadn't read anything that I've written for the past 3 months plus. And so I was reading it, and I apparently on the airplane, I don't remember this. I'm so glad I wrote it down because it cracked me up. You know how like when you're on the airplane, they're like, if the oxygen mask comes down, you put it on your face before you help anyone else, because if you're dead, then you're useless. That's what they don't say those out, but that's the truth, right? But then this is what cracked me up. They said if you are currently wearing a mask, right? Because people are doing that now.
Mm-hmm.
If you're wearing a mask, make sure that you remove your mask before you use the oxygen mask. And I was like,
Oh wow.
this is the reality we live in. Are you kidding me? That you gotta tell a human for them to survive and breathe the oxygen on the machine that they have to remove the apparatus that is blocking it. And I was like, I'm good. I'm good. Like no matter what's gonna come down the pipeline, like I got this. Right? But it is that, but the point is that, yeah, like if I don't receive love, care, support, then I literally can't give that. So it is the me that has to come first, and not me come first all the time because I'm the only important thing out there and nobody else gets it. But it's like, no, I'm really aware that like if my cup is full, then that's only when I can give.
Mhm.
And so, and we've been told it's selfish and you should be able, you should. Fuck the you shoulds.
Right.
Just take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And trust that you will, as you love and take care of yourself, will be able to love and take care of others more.
Right.
And to me, that's what we're here for.
Mhm.
We're here to take care of ourselves and each other.
Right.
I've seen people and I always can tell somebody what they need to do,
Mhm.
but they'll never look at what they need to do.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They don't realize life is about growth.
Mhm.
If you don't grow, you'll die.
True story.
You die spiritually, mentally, and physically.
Yeah.
You're gonna die.
Yeah.
But as long as you keep a positive attitude, sooner or later, guess what? Something's gonna break through for you. And you know what? Yeah, something else gonna break through for you. Guess what? You're on your road to success.
Mhm.
Exactly. And that's the thing too. It's like, we can have a positive attitude. Well, sometimes it's a challenge to have a positive attitude if you're going through something really shitty, right? If it's like, well, I just got evicted. Yay. Anybody got pom poms and a little rattle and surprise, you're evicted. Yay. Right. So finding a positive attitude, for me, it goes into the space of like, okay, so this happened. I acknowledge it. I acknowledge that I feel fear. I acknowledge that I feel sadness. I acknowledge that I feel it. I allow myself to feel it. And I also am grateful because now I know that this just opened a door for another miracle or blessing to come in my path. And I'm just going to open to that shit and not let myself get stressed about it. Because if my body starts to break down, then I can't move my shit out into the new magic mansion that I am now moving into.
When I
Or whatever.
using drugs and alcohol, I realized a lot about me. It's about growth. I can look down deep inside and get this stuff out, and then I can be happy and be grateful no matter what the situation is. I'm gonna be okay.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that. So, y'all want to do a thing?
Sure.
Okay. So, I've learned something.
Feet on the ground.
I've learned that wherever you want your feet, definitely keep them attached to your legs.
Definitely.
If you don't mind, just today. You can take them off later. I don't care, but this time, keep them attached. So I've learned something. I've learned about myself that I've had needs in my life whether it's like, I just need somebody to hold me. I'm having a hard day, or I need someone to remind me that like, it's all going to be okay because I'm really starting to doubt. You know, like sometimes I have needs. And I realized that if I think my needs, that it's fine. Like, but nobody knows.
When my wife died, I
But
felt like I couldn't go on.
well, yeah. Let me finish this because we're running close to the time. And my point is, sometimes we got to speak it, right? Sometimes we have to ask for support, and that could just be, you know, hey, I'm experiencing stress in my life. Would you go for a walk with me? You know, just asking and being okay if somebody says no, but it opens the door, right? So if I ask Robin, hey, Robin, I need $500. And Robin's like, I don't have it. Okay. But here's the thing. This is the way I see it. Universe says Jane knows she's willing and she deserves it. She's willing to receive and she deserves it. She knows she deserves it. She's worthy of receiving it because she asked. So to me, that says like universe is like, I heard her. Someone else call in the troops, give her $500 now. And so I'm going to get it. Okay. So I say this because the exercise I'm going to walk us through is it includes using your voice. Some people don't feel comfortable with that because some people fear that they're going to be judged if they're heard. Aren't we silly humans? Insert eye roll because I've done it myself. So my invitation is to say the words, and you can change it if something else resonates. I deserve to receive miracles and blessings. Say that out loud. I deserve to receive miracles and blessings. Now, take a deep breath in. Let it go. And just feel your body. Just notice your physical body. Just scan it. Notice the weight of it. Notice your heart beating. Notice the breath pattern. If it's slow, if it's shallow, if it's deep, whatever it is, just notice. And we're going to do this again in just a second. So I'm going to say these and you can just say it with me. Okay? I deserve miracles and blessings. 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 One more time. I deserve miracles and blessings. Take a deep breath in. Just let it go. And now just scan your body and see how it feels.
Say those things as though they were
Hang on.
so.
And just feel, notice if your face has a little bit more of an upturned smile.
Happy.
So we'll trust that this statement is being heard by the healed and well ancestors. It's heard by the universe. It's heard by our guides, the angels, our spirit friends. It's heard by the God, the goddess, the great creator, the infinite of all it is. And we'll trust that this call is being answered and it's already been made so. And so it is.
Absolutely.
And so it
Jane,
is.
thank you for being home.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
We missed.
Thanks. I missed y'all. Y'all don't even know.
I just have been lost in the spirit realm.
You've been floating?
There lost.
What's that bowl called?
It's a singing bowl
Singing?
or a sound bowl.
Sound.
hmm So now that I have a little set, I'll be playing. Yeah, I'm bored here and I'm excited. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining online. I appreciate you all so much.
Is
I
there
will
a
be
rumor
back.
that you're going to come do something on Fridays when Sharon is doing some medical thing?
It is. I will be here. I did not bring my calendar, but I'm not here. I'm not here next week. Thank you so much. I'm not here next week, but the rest of the month I'm here on, I think it's Monday or Tuesday, and then it's good to see you, Elijah. And on Thursday mornings. I know Thursday mornings
That's good.
at 10, and then I feel, I don't remember if it was Monday or Tuesday.
That's right.
I need to remember that. Okay.
You gonna
Hi.
go?